I'm black and I'm proud, and I'm gonna say it loud, regardless of the static and white noise. I'm black and I'm proud, and I'm gonna make kings out of black boys, so they will treat their women like queens and gems instead of disposable toys, and learn to shift their minds to knowledge and power from rims and Tims, so they can grow and say, I'm black and I'm proud, and of course I'm loud, cause my ancestors lived life with a white boot at their throat, and those people got the nerve to tell us to get on the boat, and I'm like, man, you brought us here. So instead, I'ma grow gardens watered with white tears, and for fertilizer, I'ma use white fears, with no concern for the backlash this rears. So dear white people, lend me your ears. You telling us someone had it worse does nothing for all of the years my people lived in fear. Does nothing for all the unsaid I love you dears, and does nothing for all the unmarked graves of my ancestors, the natives, and slaves. So check your privilege. Just because you ain't pillaged and sacked that village doesn't exclude you from the gains of his visage. And I ain't painting the picture that all y'all are evil, cause we all are little, but most of y'all is cold as the deepest pits of hell. You expect us to care about little Timmy who fell in the well, but not even for a spell where you empathize with our pain, and yet the media paints us to be a stain. So you can bump all that. Y'all will have that report back. You will respect us. My people ain't riding that bus, cause black excellence will dismantle this oppressive system with a beautiful African rhythm, and we bringing all the other people of color with them. So to all my people out here struggling and hustling, I know your head may be bloody, but keep it unbowed. Say this with me and say it now. I'm black and I'm proud. And I'm Isaiah Mariner.
Welcome to the Lions Den.
This your boy Darren Spencer bringing you culture and travel.
Yo, it's Daquan Francis, aka Found. I'm your local news and black culture specialist, but more importantly, I'm the Leo of the Lions Den.
What it do, everybody? Back from vacation. It's your boy, I am so amazing, and I am your entertainment and art specialist. I just want to let you know what's hot, what's not, and what's going on your side of the town. You feel me?
Hello, my movers and shakers. My name is TC Livingston, and I'm your sports and fitness host.
Alright, so we're about to get the ball rolling with our first discussion, and this is a very interesting topic. Just happened last week. I'm not sure if you guys know about it, but it is the first sex scandal in Kevin Hart's career.
Oh, I scratched that. Not the first.
Not the first.
The second sex scandal. But it's big because, as you know, Kevin Hart is very, very prominent individual in the comedian community right now. Everybody knows about him. He is married with 2 children. The children are the first wife's second wife, is actually pregnant on his 3rd child, and that is actually when he decided to commit adultery. He went out to Las Vegas. Went out to Las Vegas for 3 days, partied it up. Yep.
Las Vegas.
On top.
What happened in Vegas?
Stays in Vegas. Yes, he committed adultery in those 3 days. Apparently they had sex 3 times, according to the woman. Yes. And what made it worse was that apparently she extorted him for $10 million after this event.
See,
Oh, she's smart. She's talking on Black China.
ruined the life.
But better.
So I basically just want to know your guys' opinion on this. How do you feel Kevin Hart's decisions? He had an apology video that came out. Like, what do you guys think about this whole situation?
Well, I'm gonna just be real. I'm gonna be 100. As a man who's in a committed relationship, I'm sorry. There's no. First off, there's no excuse to cheat, period. I'm sorry. There's no excuse to cheat, period. Especially when you're married. Especially when you were divorced for the same thing before. Especially when you have 2 kids by your previous wife and then pregnant with your current wife. There's no excuse for you. Kevin Hart, as a man, yes, you apologize, but I feel like, come on, man. How many times do you have to really fall in order to really learn your lesson, man?
No, for real,
Honestly.
man.
And honestly, the only reason I think he apologized was because he got caught.
Yeah.
Somebody extorted you for $10 million. I'm pretty sure he didn't want to give her the $10 million.
Right. That's right.
And the thing is, it's not going to jeopardize his career, because you remember when he first got caught cheating, he used that in his stand-up act.
Oh, yeah.
He still made millions off it.
And actually, that was let me explain.
Exactly.
He was explaining everything.
Yo,
So
that might be a sequel to
let me explain to you.
So really, there's no surprise then.
Nah.
I mean, well, this is the thing. All right, I said this before. His first wife, his second wife is bad. I'm not gonna lie. Have y'all seen her though?
What do you mean by
I mean, you can tell it was his starter wife.
Oh,
God.
I'm sorry. Okay, let's be real. It was a starter wife. However, but you gotta realize this. I mean, I understand the whole situation. Matter of fact, I mean, okay, anyway. But think about this. I want y'all to really honestly think about this. His first wife wasn't as, and let's be real, as attractive as his second wife. Okay?
That's important.
However,
That's important.
that makes me think that I shouldn't cheat the second time around, especially when you talk about he glorifies his kids. That's one of the issues that I really have with it. He glorifies his kids, and he talks about, even in his comedies, when he talks about his infidelities and things, he talks about how he really, loves his, his ex-wife, how they're good friends, and how they make sure that they try to make it work for the kids' sake. How can you really show your children, especially when you have not only a daughter, but a son as well?
So in Kevin Hart's defense, he is the top comedian right now. He makes millions of dollars. When you're in a place like Vegas,
Come on.
you make so much money.
Fine, come on.
You're the most popular person almost in the world right now when it comes to celebrities.
Fine.
And when you're in that situation, I'm not justifying what he did, but 90% of celebrities cheat. Are you surprised? Are you surprised this is
Found,
happening?
I'm gonna keep it 100. You sound lost right now.
Come on, right?
I'm just saying, man.
But
that ain't no justification. That ain't no defense.
And
in his defense, only defense that you could have was that he was drugged up and then he had sex with.
And then
if he's sober, there's no defense for that.
And then
he's a grown man with kids, married for the second time.
Come on.
You know better.
But you also got to think, this is his first child with this woman.
And so there's another thing. If you're a man, you go cheat on your pregnant wife. Your second wife that's pregnant.
Come on.
So you cheated on the first wife after she buried your two kids. So now you already have two grown kids who are awake and conscious, and now they see you cheat on your next wife.
So I'm not justifying what he did.
But you came in his defense.
I'm seeing his side right now.
Okay, so here's my stance, and I'm gonna be at peace with it, right? Okay, so Kevin Hart don't owe us an apology.
Right.
He don't owe us an apology. He owe his family an apology because that's something that he did,
Right.
to them. And
Right.
they're feeling that now.
Right.
My thing is, we don't need to focus on that.
I feel like
Let's talk about. Let's talk about.
All right, before you say that, I feel like he's not just apologizing. He's not just apologizing to his family, because you got to realize he got millions of viewers, who look up to him.
Right, but he ain't cheat on me.
Okay, but the thing is, bro, he set standards for himself. In every scenario, that, like on his Instagram page,
Right.
he's a fitness, model and stuff like that, and he
Right,
promotes
right.
things. And the thing is, that's nothing that he promotes.
But see, that's something he has to deal with. But my thing is, let's look at Georgia. What's going on in Georgia right now?
Actually, so before we even get to that topic, we actually ran out of time, and we're going to have to move on to introducing our influential lion of the day. It's somebody who has made a huge impact on the Hampton Roads area and potentially society as a whole.
Hello, I'm Dawn Hester, delegate in the 89th House District in the City of Norfolk, and also candidate for treasurer in the City of Norfolk. I'm a lifelong resident of Norfolk. I've served on the City Council here for 14 years, and currently serve, as I said, as a state delegate. I've been doing that for 5 years. And with Norfolk being my home, what happens in the city is important to me, and what happens to our citizens and businesses I've always been involved and engaged in, and I just want to continue to do that and restore a little trust back to the treasurer's office. But I love children. I'm an educator by profession. I've been doing that since 1978. I'm telling y'all how old I am. And I love it. I love teaching and helping people to grow. And so that's a little bit about who I am. I want to win on November 7th. That's election day.
Yes.
So I need you all
Vote
to
down.
come out and vote like you have before. But I also want to say that, okay, so I need to tell you this, that I am a Democrat. And I believe in the values of the Democratic Party. And this election in Virginia is very important for us as a people, and who's making decisions for us, and who can block bad decisions. And so it's important for us to vote for the Democratic Party when we go to vote. And that's Ralph Northam, Justin Fairfax, and Mark Herring, and then whoever your delegate may be. But then the constitutional officers are also on the ballot, and that's where I come in. So we're at the end of the ballot. So you're also voting for Commonwealth Attorney, Sheriff, Commissioner of Revenue, and the Treasurer. So please vote. It does matter, even though, you know what, sometimes it seems like it doesn't, like now, currently in the world that we're in. But your voices do matter. And people do count how many people vote and where they vote. And we know who you are, so we can determine if people of color are voting, if Asians are voting, not voting, you know. So when people see that you don't vote, it's like, okay, well, they don't care, so then you don't get the representation that you want. So it is important to vote, and it does make a difference, especially for those of us who are serving you. Any questions?
Oh man, well I did have a question. No, appreciate you for everything that you said. Appreciate you for all your years of service.
Thank you. Thank you.
One of the things that I wanted to ask you, just kind of on a light note, what would you say with all of your years of service, what's something that you are proud of that you've accomplished in those positions?
Well, I think for me,
She got a whole list.
but once again, I guess I'm going to go back to, I'm going to first talk about young people.
Okay.
And helping them to become strong and confident in who they are. Getting young people through high school so that they can go on and begin their lives and have a better way of life. One of the things I did when I was on the youth council, I formed the city youth council for young people in Norfolk so that they could begin to learn about the process. Because it's important for you to know early, so then you might get engaged, not in running for politics necessarily, but just in being involved in your civic league and the importance of that, and then just knowing how government operates. Because when you know how an organization works, you stand a better chance of working that organization for your good. And so the Norfolk Youth Council was I think, my jewel. And so we have people now who are serving as U.S. attorneys, engineers, of course they're educators, working with other elected officials, and then, you know, some teachers, got some probation officers, so that lets you know I keep up with my children, so I know what they are. But I think that's probably, for me, the greatest thing, because then I know that their lives are going to be better. And so, you know, for me, it's, if I touch your life, I want your life to be better because of our interaction. And so that's really important to me. But the other thing, last thing I'll talk about, well, for this part, is neighborhoods.
Okay.
In my district, I had half of the city as a council person, and as a delegate, I have the central part of the city. But I had primarily, as a councilwoman, I had all of the public housing communities. You know, we're having a big discussion in Norfolk now about the demolition of 3 of those public housing communities and where we're going to move people to. And that process, we really need young ideas engaged in that, whether you live in the community or not. If you live in the city of Norfolk, if you hear about those meetings, you should come, because you all think different than the older people do. And we need to combine those thoughts to create a better community for people to live in. But one of the things I think that was important for me was helping people in not only understanding how to work the system, but telling city government, you don't come in our neighborhood and tell us what we're going to do. We tell you, because we have worked together, what we want, and then we collaborate with the city and other organizations in order to get things done.
Well, I think I'm going to come, he had a lighter note, I'm going to come smack dab at you. My question is that within your many years, your decades of experience in politics and working with people and seeing people in communities and stuff like that, my question is, has racism and violence against African Americans and people of color, Has that changed any since you first started in your politics? Has it become better, for lack of better words, or is it still the same as it was back then?
Okay, so I'm not gonna couch it, but I gotta make sure I cover it all. Violence today among our young people, I think, is worse.
Mm.
Okay, and that I think is because of access to guns. And because it's easy to get them, and we're not talking to each other. You know, we'd rather shoot it out than talk it out,
Yeah.
or fight it out, which was my time.
Yeah.
You had to
Yeah.
fist fight,
Yeah.
fought it out,
Yeah.
and whoever won, fine, we got, we move on.
Right.
But because of the access to guns, it's worse, especially with young people of color. But the one thing I still want you to know is that in Virginia, 1 out of 3 murders is domestic violence. So domestic violence is a big issue
Yes.
as well. So you have to look at violence in its totality. Racism is alive. It never went anywhere. It just went undercover for a little while. Now the revelation is here, and you all know what you all have to deal with in your work, in school, and wherever it is that you go. And so that's why the decisions that you make are really critical. Just being out on the street. I can't say in Norfolk that I think we do a better job with police citizen relationships, but we still don't always get it right either. And so there's a lot that still needs to be done. But when somebody can come on, a fire chief can call Coach Tomlin the N-word, well, at least he got fired.
Right.
But then turn around and say, well, he's not racist. Well, then that's clearly a conversation that needs to be had, because he doesn't realize that he is. And some people don't realize that they are.
Yeah.
Because all of us have stereotypes in us now. Even we do. So we have to be honest in that conversation. I ran a group a few years ago called Dialogue, and it was an honest conversation on race and reconciliation. And it helped people to think about themselves, because really the only person you can control is you. But then you have to interact with somebody else. So race is an issue. It's one we're going to have to deal with.
So I'm not sure if you guys heard what happened a couple weeks ago. It was a woman who was in Delaware City. She was in a small restaurant, and a disabled veteran walked in with his service dog. She was not happy about this. That was unsanitary in the restaurant, and she basically went irate.
I'm not going to keep my opinions to myself. I'm going to voice it just like I do. There's nothing you can do about it. Nothing. I'm leaving because the food is nasty and there's a dog. So what? What do you want to do about it? Nothing.
He's alive because he fought for our country.
Congratulations! Congrats! So did my husband's dad. My husband's dad did too. What's your point?
Because he's alive.
My husband's dad fought for the. So did he. What's your point?
He has a
So what? It's still nasty to me.
I just want to know what was your guys' take on this?
I'm sorry. First off, let me say, and to you as well, because you have served our country. Thank you to all that has served our country. We thank you for your service. We thank you for your commitment. We thank you for laying your lives on the line for us. I personally felt my dad was is a retired vet. You have to understand the sacrifice that these people are doing for us. You know what I'm saying? So when they're going out into war and they come back, they're already getting mistreated by a government, which is sending them out there. You know what I'm saying? They already get mistreated that way. But then you come into a restaurant, all you want to do is get some grub. You already hurt because of the situation, and you have a dog which you are now given because of your disability that you served your country with. And then somebody that you were defending is getting mad and ugly with you because you have something, because I was protecting you. That is the most insensitive thing you could ever do to somebody who served our country. Like, seriously. You're going to sit up here and call it disgusting and all of that stuff like that, but this person saved you from getting bombed several times. Like, how can you really honestly do that? Seriously.
Even if you don't think on that deeper level like that, I still feel like if you see a dog in a restaurant, a service dog is clearly marked.
Right.
There's normally a little patch on them where it'll have all this information where you can find them,
Facts.
phone numbers, everything. If you don't like a dog being in a place of business, don't eat there. Don't go there.
Yeah, I was about to say. I think it was the problem was the way she went about it. You know, she could have expressed her concern. Maybe somebody could have been allergic. You know, you never know what the situation could have been. But she didn't have to just go off on the store owner, cussing her out, calling her profane words. You know, and then just acting like her daughter was next to her, and she was like, I don't care if she hears me. She was calling the owner a whore and things like that. I'm just like, there's a way. I was like, you can file a complaint,
Right.
you know, and go on about your business. It wasn't even worth that.
But I mean, even with that, it's and you're right. It is about how she did it. But I mean, come on, son. Like sometimes you just gotta you gotta really just be thoughtful.
So
you know,
now you guys know I always play devil's advocate.
lost and found.
I look at both sides of the story. Now the first thing I noticed when watching this video, because I like to break these videos down, was that the video started with the woman being irate already.
Right.
So we don't know what happened prior to that got her so riled up. Granted, I'm not justifying her actions. There was no reason that she should have been. Well, actually, in the video, I actually noticed that she was not yelling at the veteran. She was yelling at the people around him.
Right.
Granted, it still doesn't make it right. She should have calmed that down, this, that, and third. But I looked at what she said about it, on her opinions, and she said that apparently the store clerks or whoever was there, they called her the N-word.
Yeah, she did say that I was leaving until someone stopped me by saying something. Now I didn't know they said that they called her
Yeah,
that.
and not only that, when they were questioned, when the store owners were questioned about if they did do this, they just replied with no comment. Now you could have easily just said no, this wasn't said. So I can see why, if that's true, I can see why she got so
I would have
riled up.
snapped too. I ain't gonna even like.
And she may not have even, because once you get to that point of anger, you don't realize what you're doing, what you're saying. You black out. I'm pretty sure she blacked out because she's in a store filled with Caucasian individuals who bursted out a racial slur. But again, playing devil's advocate, I'm not sure if they would have given her a racial slur with no reason.
And then, and two, I want to you right about that, because I want to hear from you. And I really want you to think about this though. We're in a society where self-control has to be one of the most important things in your life. Why do I say that? Along with these police killings, what are some of their biggest excuses? Some of their biggest excuses, I felt threatened. You know, we as black people are looked at as being irate, angry individuals. Are we not?
I ain't here for this politics.
I'm just saying.
I ain't here for this politics of respectability. I didn't hear the part about her getting that racial slur in the beginning.
Right.
But I do know if everything that we saw on video was preceded by her being called the N-word, everything that happened after that, it's just for real. I wanted to come at her because I'm with the mental health thing and service dogs, emotional support animals, or whatever the case may be. But if you precede all of that, like that veteran came in, it was bad timing for him.
Yeah, you're right. This is like, dude, wrong place.
And in going against her, I did not see the veteran in the video say anything to her. So everybody was defending the veteran. You don't even know what the veteran's opinion is on all this. So I wasn't. He was being very peaceful.
She probably started spazzing and was like, y'all gonna call me an N-word, but y'all gonna let this dude bring this dog in here?
But that's the thing. In the video, again, I really looked at this very harshly because in the video, again, she didn't say anything in the video about being the N-word.
And that's what makes me look at the video like, you see, because you know, I'm going to tell you something us black people do. I will say it. When something happens with us, we tend to bring up something that would justify our actions.
Exactly.
And so I understand why you may want to defend her, but let's be real. If it really was because she was called the N-word, don't you think somewhere in that blow up she would have been like, hey, y'all gonna call me a...
Especially if I was on video too. If I was on video, I would have definitely said.
I would have said it because I would have waited for you to be on video. Be like, they called me a. Get that on camera.
All right. So once again, out of time for this discussion topic, even though it was very interesting, very lively. Sean, what's going on, man?
Hey man, I just want to introduce to y'all, man. We got Millie Boy for our entertainment spotlight. He'll be featuring 3 models from Eminent Fashion Entertainment. Man, he's an upcoming artist. I think y'all will be ready for this. This song is about empowerment, the empowerment of women. Hey, everybody, get ready. Put your hands together for Millie Boy, Shorty Bad.
Shorty bad, bad, she bad, 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 bad. Shorty bad, she bad, 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 bad. She ain't worried about your money, cause she get it on her own. She ain't worried about the government, she make it on her own. Shorty bad, she bad, 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 bad. Shorty bad, yeah, she bad, bad. Yeah, she ain't worried about your money, cause she get it on her own. She ain't worried about the government, she make it on her own. Fair slave, bills paid, everything she got, she own. Fendi this, Louis that, her Birkin bag sweat strong. J's clean, heels mean, haters mad, she on. Car clean, new beam, when she push the pedal, she gone. 5'11", Georgia status, so you know the booty on fleet value. Could you imagine her relationship status? Say single when she free. Oh yeah. High standards, low tolerance. Boy, she know what she wants. You mad, your crew sad, cause she doing things y'all don't. Look, she kill every spot that she in. She killing the scenes with her friends. When it's time to order bottles, she order at least about 10. She ain't worried about your dollars. She got her own money to spend. Only way she can get better, if she was born with a twin. Ain't nothing like that, cause she got her own. She ain't really full attention, cause she stay at home. Ain't nothing like that, whack. She nothing like that, love. She bring it right back, plug. She chillin' with Shorty bad, bad, she bad, she bad, 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 bad. Shorty bad, she bad, 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 bad. She ain't worried about your money, cause she get it on her own. She ain't worried about the government, she make it on her own. Shorty bad, she bad, 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 bad. Shorty bad, yeah, she bad, bad. Yeah, she ain't worried about your money, cause she get it on her own. She ain't worried about the government, she make it on her own. Good looks, great view, her hustle game stay strong. Mad haters, salt shakers, anything she got on, she bomb. Gucci this, Gucci that, her Gucci bag never wrong. No weave, no wig, cause her hair's already long. She a showstopper, neck turner, anywhere she wanna walk. Heart stopper, the plug daughter, you can tell the way that she talk. I like that. Southern dog, yeah, I love them all, but to me, she's the best. #1. In the mall, showing off, ain't hard to tell she fresh. Oh yeah. I ain't worried about the rest. Nope. She killing the dress, saucy. She collecting the checks, cha-ching. She love the finesse, Georgia Peach, yeah, she run it. No time for weeks, so she cut it. Long way, but she coming. Bankroll, she got money. She killing the competition. 1. I give her the recognition. 2. She love to look and listen when the money calls. She ain't never trip for. She know what I'm about to think. What's that? Favorite color jasmine pink. You know that. Hate to smoke, love to drink. Hey, tell me what you think. Shorty bad, bad, she bad, 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 bad. Shorty bad, she bad, 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 bad. She ain't worried about your money, cause she get it on her own. She ain't worried about the government, she make it on her own. Shorty bad, she bad, she bad, 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 bad. Shorty bad, yeah, she bad, 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 bad. She ain't worried about your money, cause she get it on her own. She ain't worried about the government, she make it on her own. Shorty bad.
Shorty bad, hey, shorty bad, hey man, shout out to my boy Millie Boy, man, shorty bad. Shout out to the 3 models that he had, Eminent Fashion Entertainment. We got some big things coming soon, man. What we doing, fam?
So unfortunately, we are out of time today, but I would like to thank you all for being our prey on the Lion's Den.
The little ground.
How y'all doing? It's your boy Found from the LD Lions Den. I want everybody to come out October 14th for the Lions Den's very own open mic Halloween bash. We want everybody to come out in their costumes. It's going to be $8 RSVP, $10 in the door. We're going to host an open mic night, so please come bring your talent. We're going to put your Instagram and your Facebook names on there. Just follow us and we'll follow you. We'll represent you if you represent us. Please come out for the Lions Den.